This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
There you go. Welcome to GameHounds, episode 247 for the day of the 29th. I don't know if you want to say the week. What is this Sunday? It doesn't matter. I am Nick DeNicola, your ill-prepared host, here with Edie Sellers.
Yes. So it's so
and
good.
Holy Goalie.
You know, no one got me a calendar for Christmas, so I'm staring at a blank wall, and I really don't know what day it is either, so I feel for you.
All right. What was Sunday? 26th. So
You know
it's
what
the
is
week of
at Christmas?
It's
Okay.
it's the 29th. It's Wednesday, no, it's January 29th. It's the
Yeah, that's what I
last
said.
few days of January.
That's what I said. It's the 29th, but it's the week of the 26th. I don't know what the kind of nuances of date things, whatever.
But
This is going to be an awesome podcast.
Doesn't it suck at Christmas time? Either you get like 13 calendars, or you get none.
Yeah.
'Cause you
Yeah.
get these calendars, you're like, oh man, I get this one's cool, and this one is cool, but you know, all these, whatever. And everybody sees you with all these calendars. So the next year they make a mental note and they say, oh, we better not get Dave a calendar next year because last year everybody got a one. And so nobody gets you one.
They don't have one, and you never buy one for yourself.
No.
No, you don't.
Why would you buy a calendar? Ew.
Exactly. And so then you go half a year never knowing what day it is.
Right. Well, you do have this thing called an iPhone that has a calendar on it. Just saying. You hit the button to turn it on, and
See, that requires you to hit a button.
oh,
to calendar,
I
not
know,
just avert your
so
eyes.
hard, so difficult.
I know. It's an extra step that I just don't want to take.
You guys, doesn't
Buttons are so...
You're on a computer, lower right-hand
Buttons are
corner.
so
Doesn't it have the
2000.
calendar on the lower right-hand corner?
Buttons are so 2000, man. I want to just look at something and have it, tell that I'm looking at it and change automatically by my gaze. I want eye tracking.
You might actually want to apply to Google for a Google Glass. See if you can get a dev kit for a Google Glass. It'll only cost you $2,000, and you can have eye tracking.
See? That's the future. That's what I want.
Speaking of the future, speaking of wearable stuff, before Christmas, I bought a Pebble watch. And I bought it, and it's like, oh, yeah, cool. I actually bought it from Best Buy. Wasn't one of the Kickstarters. And got it, I'd say, about 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas, and I promptly ignored it. I put it on my desk, and it just sat there. And then I started having issues with my watch, my regular watch, giving me a rash. So I was like, I need a watch. I guess I'll use the Pebble. It's kind of ugly. It is the greatest thing. The greatest. If only because I never miss a text. I never miss a phone call. I can put my phone on silent, stick it in my back pocket, and know I'm getting a phone call. It's great because I'll be just working along, or I'll even be on the podcast, and I'll get a little zzz on my wrist, look down, and I can see. Oh, in fact, I can see right now I missed a call from someone.
Really? So
Yeah.
that syncs with your iPhone, huh?
Yeah, it syncs with your iPhone. It actually buzzes me faster than my phone buzzes. Like, I'll get the buzz on my wrist that a text has come through before I get the buzz on the phone. And it's great because I'm working with my dad. So I'm getting texts, especially at the night, from you guys and M-Hawk and all these other people, and then phone calls. And I can just look at my watch and see exactly and emails. That's the other thing. It's emails. And you don't have to link it up to all of your emails account. You can pick and choose which email accounts. So I don't have it attached to my GameHounds account because my GameHounds account is just cluttered with spam. But my other accounts that I use that are not as spammy, that I know that if I get an email on it, it's somebody actually trying to get a hold of me. I'll get a little zzz, and I'll see. Oh, okay. I gotta go reply to this email. You'll never miss an email. You'll never miss a text. You'll never miss a phone call. It's great, fantastic. And I guess Pebble is going to be launching an app store. And right now, I mean, this is just the early stages of it. They're developing. They're open. I believe they're even open source. So they're opening it up to developers to say, make apps for the Pebble. It's great. So, yeah.
What else could you do with that? Like, what apps could you see being on there?
I have no clue. If I could think of one, I would go get somebody to make one. But I don't know. Just simply by the fact that I get notification on my watch and I can see the text, at least the first page of text on my watch. The only downside is that sometimes it gets in the way of my phone. I guess I can actually talk through my phone on the Pebble. I'm not sure, but I haven't quite played around with it as much as I should have.
Can you input anything on the watch?
No, I wouldn't want to. It's too small.
Yeah.
But I can at least see that if I've got the phone in my back pocket, I can see, is this something I need to respond to right away? Or is it something I can respond to in a few minutes? Or especially when I'm at this new job, because I'm getting so many emails from all over and I'm sitting here working on my computer and I get a zzz on my wrist. And yeah, I know those little notifications come up that you got an email on the upper right-hand side, but it won't really tell you what's in the email. It just says you got an email from this person. But when I look at the watch, first off, it alerts me because I get a zzz. And the second thing is that I can look at the watch and kind of just see instantaneously, like, oh yeah, okay, it came from this person. It just arrived, obviously, and this is what they're saying for the most part, at least the first couple of lines. It's great. So
you can have a second screen experience with the second screen.
Yeah. So wearable
screen experience.
Who knew I would enjoy wearables as much as this? As an early adopter of wearables, but they're freaking tastic. I wish I had Google Glass now, and not just because it would make me a cool kid. So, what's up with you guys this week? Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. What'd you do?
Yeah.
Anything interesting?
Not really.
No.
Just bringing
Nope.
it. Yeah, just bringing it.
I know. Slam dunk.
Nothing but Nick.
Yep.
Nothing but Nick.
Nothing but Nick. Goalie, come talk to us. What did you do?
Oh man,
I'm gonna dodge the question.
I'm feeling better. I'm finally. When when I went to Huntington Beach almost 2 years ago now, and I saw you guys on the West Coast, I got really sick that Saturday night. Just not feeling good at all. And since that day, I've had a pain in my side.
Wow.
That's 2 years. Okay, that was 2012. That was 2 years. Every day I've had a pain in my side, and it just felt like something was swollen. And turns out it was. Luckily, it's none of my organs, which is good. But they finally got me on some medication, and for the first time in 2 years, I don't feel the swelling inside of me.
Ooh, so what was it?
Good.
They think I'm having digestion problems.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. It's not getting from point A to point B.
Oh.
Yeah, and so they're treating they don't know if I have an infection or what it is, but they're doing all this treatment, blah 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 blah. But whatever medications I'm on and whatever things I've been doing, I feel better. And I still, once in a while, I still feel it. So I'm not out of the woods, but I don't know how much detail you want me to go. But like when I'm standing up, I'm fine. When I'm playing hockey, I'm fine. When I'm sitting down, I was constantly taking my pants, my underwear, and taking the waistband and lifting it off my waist.
Right, because it was uncomfortable.
It was so uncomfortable sometimes, and everybody's looking at me like I'm in a restaurant and I got my hands down my pants. Like, what are you doing? It's like I'm taking the waistband off my waist because it causes me some discomfort.
Yeah.
And flying in a plane or driving in a car when you're hunched over sitting, it was tough.
Oh, no wonder you hated flying.
Yeah, that's why I kind of rejected a couple of trips and the whatever, because it was miserable. I mean, literally, like, you know, when I'm naked, I'm fine, you know, because I have no pressure on my waist, you know? But any pressure at all, and sleeping, forget. I got like pillows everywhere just to find a position that I wasn't in any pain, and that's how bad it was. And I'm not
Dude, you're finally getting some sleep. You're no longer going to be a cranky baby. We might have to fire you off the podcast.
Jeepers. There's nothing worse than just laying there and just feeling like
and you can't get comfortable.
You can't get comfortable no matter what you do. Pillows up the ass and upside down and hanging off the bed, and it's still just discomfort everywhere. But so so the good news is I'm feeling a little bit better. Whatever medication, I don't know if I got to be on this medication for the rest of my life. Hopefully not, but I really thought they were going to find something and say, "Oh, come on in," but they didn't. They says, "Well, I think we can fix this with medication."
Nice.
So I feel better. I just overall better. Although the medication makes you tired. That's why last week I wasn't on the main show. I just started taking the medication and it wiped me out. Antibiotics sometimes will do that. They'll just make you tired. So, but I think I'm hopefully seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you guys, you know, even people in the audience listening, if you ever had this pain just for a long time, and you've just dealt with it, and then one day it's not there, it's so weird. Because it's like, man, I've had this pain, whether it's in your arm or your back or your knee or stomach, you know, and all of a sudden one day it's like, wow, geez, it's weird. All of a sudden the pain's gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
chronic pain is one of the most disheartening, soul-crushing things that anybody can experience. And if anybody out there has chronic pain, whether it be back or neck or any kind of chronic pain, even chronic pain syndromes, it alters who you are. It becomes part of your life. It's like this thing that you live with, and then all of a sudden the roommate moves out, and you're like, man, I totally forgot how nice it is to live by myself. I didn't even realize it's that how it had changed me until afterwards. I'm so glad for you that you're
not
screwed
that I'm
up.
pain free. Don't get me wrong. I'm not out of the way. I mean, there's always. I mean, you get to our age, there's always something. So you never have a day where you're like, oh man, I feel great and nothing hurts. You know,
right?
But there's one thing that's been nagging me and bugging me and making me uncomfortable. And so I finally went into the doctor. I said, look, I haven't been in here in over a year. Let's take some pictures. Let's look around. Let's see if I'm gonna die. Just let me know because I can't take it anymore. You know,
right.
And so they said, well, let's try this, and this. So whatever this, and this is, it seems to be alleviating the pain. And boy, I tell you, it's so weird just not having that ache. So weird.
Yeah.
It's really, really strange. So I've been feeling good, just plowing through that. So I've been in a good mood because of that. Also, this today will mark 3 weeks without a soda for me.
Good for you.
Yep.
Nicely done.
And again, I didn't drink a lot of it. I did.
I know you only had one a day, so it's not like. I mean, it's not like you'd be. If I stopped drinking soda, that would be a big thing. And if Kevin stopped drinking soda, I would suggest you sell stock because it's about to crash.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those moderation guys. Anything in moderation, I think, is okay. I mean, just about anything, obviously. But, so I mentioned to the doctor, says, well, I quit soda a couple weeks ago, but I said, really, it was like having one a day. And he says, he didn't say, hey, great, but he didn't say, oh, yeah, you definitely got to stop, So it was a little bit of everything. So, but, 3 weeks, I almost grabbed the Diet Mountain Dew the other day. I was really jonesing for one. And then I think something come up and it caught. I just got sidetracked. I was like, okay, I'll go another day without one. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. See how long I can go. And, I'm not like craving. I'm not having the shakes, but I did enjoy the taste. And I loved having a Diet Pepsi after I played hockey. There's something about I get done playing hockey. I just loved having a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
And I haven't had that in 3 weeks.
Now, who has played games?
I have. Nick, have you?
Yeah, I played.
Okay.
I played some games.
You and I played on the Double XP weekend. some of the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, and it was a closed group. Wow, it is so much better when it's a closed group. Holy crap, is it much better? And you get such higher scores. Sorry. Such higher scores when you are playing with a group of people who A, know how to play, and B, are actually talking to each other. If I have to say one thing that sort of bugging me about the PS4, it's not as social and I think that's part of the culture of the PlayStation, that it was not a social culture because it didn't have party chat in the PS3. And now you have all these Xbox players who are used to it being exceptionally social. And it's kind of in the middle there right now, where I'll get on to Assassin's Creed multiplayer groups, not in a party chat, and I'm the only one with a headset plugged in.
I've noticed that too. I've noticed that with the PlayStation, that some of the buds, obviously the Xbox buds have headsets, but some of the people I don't know, there's not a lot of chatter out there.
Not a lot of chatter on Battlefield, which is surprising. There's 64 people, 32 people sitting on playing a game together, and nobody's got a headset but me.
But you got to think that of all the Xbox people that come over, there's got to be kind of, like I say, kind of an in-between phase stage thing, you know?
I'm hoping that it changes. I'm hoping that it isn't beat down the people that expect more social experience to not expect it anymore. I'm finding that's what it's doing to me.
I haven't noticed anything like that. I mean,
well, you were never a free freaking social
even
person.
Like Battlefield, like I would play it on Xbox 360, and even if I wouldn't have a headset plugged in, you can still tell when other people do have headsets plugged in.
Right.
And no one did.
Right. No one has headsets plugged in.
I mean, on 360.
Right, but on the 360, but that was... If you went in to spend a whole night playing Battlefield, eventually you'd have at least one or two people that start talking to you.
Not in my experience.
I would. Well, maybe it's different for me because people could hear I was a girl.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but nothing. I mean, game after game after game after game, and
eventually you bump into people that play well, and they will start talking to you, and it does happen occasionally.
But sorry, I've got a yawn and I can't quite yawn it out. So if I start yawning, it's nothing personal to you guys. It's just that it won't leave. I can feel it in the back of my jaw. But Assassin's Creed multiplayer was so much nicer in a party of friends who would all coordinate their actions. And man, on the double XP, we cleaned house on points.
Yeah.
And it was a hell of a lot of fun. And a lot harder than I expected because I was constantly kind of blaming other people for fucking things up because they didn't know how to play. And now I'm finding that when we were playing together, it's just as hard but in a different way. The farther along in the waves that you get, the sequences I get that they call it, the farther along you get, the more troublesome, the more difficult the NPCs are to get in your sights and get to the right spot where you can get the most amount of points.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it was no problem getting through Wave 25. No problem at all. And that was never an issue. We always had tons of money.
Although we were also playing on the standard difficulty. If we had bumped it up, I bet we would have had a lot more.
So tell me about the multiplayer. Is it the one that I played or is it different?
It's
one that you play. Wolfpack. Yeah.
So that's when you work together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I know there's I think there's other multiplayers on his.
Yeah, there is. There's more competitive.
There's a competitive.
Much of it.
Yeah,
okay.
I haven't played any of the competitive because I know that I'll just get my ass handed to me.
Okay, so I actually played with you guys. Yeah. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. And so I had a good time with that. And then because of the conversation we had last week about, we mentioned The Sims. Oh, that's right. The Sims, the list of updates, change notes for Sims over time.
Yeah.
Can no longer have a baby with the Grim Reaper. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I went out and bought on Origin for my Mac Sims Medieval. Now, I actually already own it on a disc for the PC. Actually, I think I own it on a disc for the Mac, too. But I just fuck it, I'll just buy it. It wasn't that expensive. It was like $30. Wow. As soon as it came up, I felt that old feeling of like when you hit the crack pipe again.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fucking crack. It's still crack. And Medieval's kind of interesting because it's more mission based. It's more quest based than Sims. I mean, it used to be Sims, you just have a sim and it's in this world and you create this world and then you kind of decide what you want to do. And there's little like achievements you want to get to get, things you want to do to get achievements, but it's not actually part of the game. In Sims Medieval, it's part of the game that you are a hero. You actually are the watcher, and you are as the watcher, you are the ones creating heroes in this land. And there are a series of quests, and you can choose. You have an overall kingdom ambition. And that could be military domination. That could be getting 13 buildings built in your kingdom. And you're controlling the whole kingdom, and you are the watcher.
Sometimes it's fun to be the watcher.
Yeah, it is.
Just saying.
I like to watch.
I like to watch domination.
And God, oh wow, how could you? I'm talking about Sims Medieval, and all of a sudden it takes a left turn. So
that's Goalie's.
It's
skill.
a little early in the morning for this Goalie, really. So
the safe word is banana.
So you have the kingdom, and you are the controller. You are essentially God, and you start with a monarch, and then you play the monarch. And every time that you kind of complete a quest, which is a series of little missions that achieve some kind of thing, like repelling a invading force, or stopping an evil wizard, or having a festival, or whatever. Then you are given points that allow you to build another building within the kingdom. And if that sometimes that building also has to come with a character. So say you build a smithy, you need to you have to have a smith that goes with it. So you can create a smith, and then that's another sim that becomes part of this series of quests, because sometimes you have more than one. It's two different sims working together to complete a quest. And
so you're not like controlling one family. You're controlling a kingdom, kind of.
You're kind of controlling a kingdom through the quests that are usually only 1 to 2 sims at a time, and you can't play whatever sim you want to play when you're playing it. It's
okay.
Your point is to finish the quest, and if you're doing this quest A requires the queen to be, or in my case it was the queen to be involved, and it's just the queen. If you want to complete quest B, then quest B requires the queen to be involved, and then occasionally the wizard to be involved, and you have a wizard tower with a wizard in it. So, eventually you'll get to the point where you have decked out your whole kingdom, and one of the things that you deck out is there's 2 different kinds of flavors of religion. There's Praetorian and Jacobean. And you can build a Jacobean cathedral, or you can build a Praetorian cathedral, or you can bring a Jacobean and a Praetorian cathedral. And what's kind of funny is that when you are playing the priest, occasionally you have to play the priest or the monk or whoever's running the respective church, that they're always talking about the watcher. And then people saying, well, I don't think the watcher exists. When the watcher is you. You are the watcher.
So you're
literally God.
God in their universe.
You are God in their universe. And they, in varying degrees of believing in you and praying to you, and not believing in you at all.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's elements to it that are different than the regular Sims that make it a bit charming, and god damn, it is crack. When you look down at your watch and it's 3:30 in the morning and you're like, I gotta be up at 8:30. Shit. It's just eats your life, but it's funner than hell. Again, it's an older game. I would if you liked Sims, you'll love this. Love it. Not your typical sim game. It's a different
Really?
flavor of
Like,
sim.
it sounds so much more complicated and way different than what I remember.
It is. It's very much more complicated. It is very different in that you can't just randomly choose who you want to play. And each sim has his or her respective job, which means that there's things to do other than the quest. You have to, if you're a smith, you have to build stuff and, make weapons and things and deliver them. And if you don't deliver them in a certain amount of time, people start getting upset with you. But more importantly, you start getting upset with yourself, and you lose what they call your focus, which is the typical sim thing of having your little plumb bob as green as possible. And having good focus means that you are more successful in the things that you do. It's definitely more gamey than Sims, which was just stick you in a world and let you create this alternate reality. Much more focused, so to speak.
So could you just let the Sims act on their own, not guide them or anything, and just kind of watch them go about their life on their own?
Well, most of the people within the kingdom you don't control. They're NPCs that you don't control at all. And
can you watch them though?
Oh yeah, you can watch them.
Oh, cool.
But if you just let your sim go and didn't instruct them to go do certain things, then they wouldn't get through their quests, and that would not be good.
There was this blog, and I think it wasn't Richard and Alice. That's a game. It was the name of two people, and basically what it was is this guy created two characters, this horrible, drunken dad and this real sweet, ambitious little girl, and he just kind of put them in the world, took away their house, and then just watched them. So it was this homeless father and daughter, and he just would blog about their sort of daily activities, and it was fantastic seeing the girl go out and get a job, and then when she got a paycheck, she donated it to charity immediately. And then the dad was he couldn't get a job because he stunk because he never had a shower, and so everyone would be scared of him, and everyone would be "Oh, get away!" whenever he got near. And there was one particularly heartbreaking moment where the girl visited the house of one of her schoolmates, this boy, and it was oh, she's making a friend, and the father followed her there and burst into the house and just started causing chaos and making everyone uncomfortable. It was a great blog, and that always struck me as one of the fascinating aspects of The Sims is that you can just watch the characters go about their lives. Yeah,
and it's not quite so. I mean, when you finish your first ambition, remember that the hierarchy is you have a kingdom ambition, which is some political domination or build 10 buildings overall or whatever. And then below that are quests that you can choose. And it's a series of quests, but it's a list of quests. And from that list of quests, it will allow you to gain enough points in order to fulfill the country's ambition.
Does it play like The Sims?
Oh, yeah. It plays just like it is The Sims, with a lot less free will of your own to be able to play what you want to play. You can get to that point. When you finish your country's ambition, your kingdom's ambition, it allows you that kind of free play where you just let them go. But I started with a queen. And might I recommend start with women? They're a hell of a lot more fun. Because if you're a man, remember, this is the medieval times. You get pregnant a whole lot more easily than you do in modern times. So if you are a man, you cannot get random NPCs pregnant. But if you're a woman, pretty much anything you look at, you get pregnant from. I had more kids running around that castle.
That's just what we need.
I had so many kids in that castle that eventually it said, "You've run out of space to put kids. You need to send one away." So I sent them to military school.
Sell him. Make some money off
I could have sold him. I could have sent him to military school, or I could have sent him out in the world to make his own way, and I put him in military school because I'm not a horrible mother.
Scientific experiments for the lot of you.
Exactly. You've got plenty. You can afford to lose some.
But interestingly enough, later on, I had multiple. I had like my spy. I had my physician. I had a wizard, a smith, a priest, a knight. All these different people that were people that I could potentially control. Maybe not at any particular time, but I could potentially control, and they were institutions within the kingdom that I had created. One of them ended up dying. I got my spy killed. And when my spy was killed, it asked me, the queen needed a new spy, needed to fill the post because the old spy was dead. Did you want to bring in your son that you sent away to military school to be the new spy? So you can actually bring your children in as your people, the playable characters. You can send them away and bring them back, and they're all grown up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
And there are quests that you can choose to kill off members of your, like, say that you really don't like you created your queen and she's getting old and you're just tired of playing her. There's actually missions within there to kill the political assassination.
Okay, that sounds kind of cool.
So you would play other characters, other what they call heroes within the kingdom to conspire to kill the queen. It was also like your first character.
What'd you play this on?
Mac.
Okay. So...
Origin. I played it. I had the downloadable copy, even though I actually forgot. Well, I have. I just didn't feel like looking for it.
Origin. I don't have an Origin account. I don't want to make one. Is this for consoles? Can you get it?
No, not consoles. PC only.
Damn.
But, I've got a copy of both that, and there's also an expansion pack that's called Nobles and Pirates, or Pirates and Nobles. Forget which one. But it's Pirates and Nobles, so that you'll have a pirate aspect of it.
Cool.
But I've got an unopened copy that I bought on, I think, Black Friday 2 years ago, or a year ago. Not this last Black Friday, but Black Friday before. I can send it to you. I can give it to you. Because I have no use for it.
Probably still need an Origin account.
Probably.
I'm just hesitant to make another account.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Origin is just it's Steam for EA. It's not that bad.
I know. I have a Uplay thing for Ubisoft, and
right.
May as well get one for EA.
Right. It is EA. It is the world's largest game developer. You might as well want to get an account for them.
No,
dude. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now.
Okay. I found the name of the blog. It's Alice and Kev.
Alice and Kev. How funny. That's the name of my mother and the name of my husband.
So yeah, that's the story of the homeless Sims. Just Google like Alice and Kev.
Oh.
I will do that. That actually sounds really cool.
I put the link in the little Skype chat.
All right, I'll try and put the link in the notes somewhere. I'll put it in the notes on Skype, and I'll probably actually try to attach it to the stuff itself, so that when this hits the feed, it'll be in the notes that's attached to the podcast.
Cool.
All right, so what do you guys play now that I've eaten up 40 minutes?
I played an awesome little game called the Stanley Parable.
I've heard about that. Tell me about that.
It's pretty great. Basically, there's not much you can say about it without spoiling it. The gist of it is that you're Stanley, who's just kind of this office drone, and one day your kind of computer stops updating, and so you go outside your office and you see that no one's there, and you just kind of start exploring, and there's a narrator talking, narrating like Stanley's thoughts and kind of what's going on. Stanley thought that he should investigate the meeting room. Maybe there was a meeting invite that he missed, and so you go through, and eventually you get to 2 doors, and it's kind of the first big choice. and the narrator will say, Stanley went left. But you don't have to follow the narrator. You can go right. And if you do, the narrator reacts to what you do. And
sounds a little bit like Thomas Was Alone.
it kind of is, except like Thomas Was Alone, you couldn't disobey the narrator. And in Stanley Parable, you can disobey him at every opportunity. And every time you disobey him, he starts getting more and more angry. And the whole game is like this exploration of, the player's relationship with the developer.
I love
And the
that
whole
idea. Oh my God, I love that idea.
It's great.
Genius.
And like there are different endings where sometimes the narrator hates you, sometimes the narrator likes you, sometimes the narrator just begs you. I just want to tell you a story. Why won't you let me tell you a story? And like it does it all in this way that is hilarious. The narrator has, he's a British guy.
I was going to say, I hope it's a
kinda-
British narrator.
It's a British narrator, and it has that same kind of dry sense of humor as Portal does. So I don't want to say what any of the things are. It's a short game that's kind of meant to be replayed over and over again. Like you play through it and you follow the narrator here, you ignore him here, and each time you'll get like a different ending. And there are 14 different endings, but I think there are like maybe 5 to 7 kind of main central different endings. And they're all interesting in their own way. Like they all kind of say something different about players and our relationship with games and developers, and it's sort of a great kind of thoughtful exploration of video games, but it's just funny as hell.
And the platform is PC on Steam.
Yep, Steam.
Okay. Price?
I'd highly recommend it because it's not a difficult game. It's amazingly easy. All you do is just go forward and back. You can't jump. The Steam achievements are kind of particularly great because they're all these metagame things. One of the achievements is press the spacebar a bunch of times, and like the name of it is you can't jump. No, seriously, you can't jump. We disabled it.
And that's the narrator saying, "Stop it! You cannot jump." How many times do I have to tell you you can't jump?
One of the achievements also is click on door 430 5 times. And I would highly recommend, if you play it, to go for that achievement.
Okay, so it's $14.99. Wow, expensive.
Yeah. I picked it up on sale months ago, but I just played it recently.
Okay,
And
Stanley
I'm glad
Parable.
I'd highly recommend it.
Okay, that sounds like hilarious fun.
It is.
Anything else?
Other than that, I beat The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds.
And?
That's a really great game. I was surprised at how challenging that game got, because it begins real simple. But some of the dungeons you go to are just like crazy puzzly, and then the boss of the game actually was like this challenge that felt like it demanded like, okay, all the skills you've learned up to this point, use them. So it ended on a real high note, and then on a real dramatic note too. Like the story, kind of simple heroic story throughout, but the ending was surprisingly touching. That is really an amazing game, and I can't recommend it enough for anyone that has a 3DS.
Okay.
Or a DS. Well, the 3DS, because I don't think you can play 3DS games on.
Yeah,
the DS.
I really have to pull out that 3DS. I mean, I won it. It's the only time I've ever won something that I really
Wow.
wanted. Yeah, I won it in a
Cool.
raffle at work. And it was the only thing in the raffle I wanted. And I bought 10 tickets, and they were $1 a piece. So I bought $10 worth of tickets. And my boss actually pulled it out, and she's like, all right, here. And everybody at work knew that was the one I wanted. And they pulled it out, and it was like, oh, son of a bitch. She got it.
Nice.
So I ended up winning the one thing I wanted. Yeah, and I got it. It's beautiful. I mean, I've had it for, God, almost 2 years. And I opened it up, looked at it, and said, cool, and put it back in the box, and it's sitting there. hasn't touched, hasn't moved. So I really need to pull that out.
There's a lot of games that, like, I've had to kind of. This year was kind of the year that I really wanted one because I heard so many great things about Zelda and this other this other turn-based strategy game called Fire Emblem Awakening. But those were kind of the two games that got me most excited. But there's also like a whole bunch of other kind of adventure games, like all the what's the lawyer? Phoenix Wright.
Right.
All the Phoenix Wright games, the Professor Layton games, like they seem like real good puzzle things. I'm looking forward to those.
Right.
Played a lot of the Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Got up to level 55. Got that trophy. That was satisfying. Played a lot of Plague Inc. too, to the point where I've beaten it with every disease type, and I've started going through it again on Brutal to beat them. And I realized that past those set disease types, there's not a lot. Like I forget, how much was Plague Inc. initially? Was it just $1?
How much was Plague? Was it $1? It might have been 99 cents.
If it was just $1, I feel okay, because like looking through that menu screen, like, you know, the main menu screen of all the different game types that you can play. Like, there's 3 different game types. 2 of them are behind paywalls. You know, it's like DLC. And I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh, I can only play the normal game with these disease types that I've already beaten, and I'll have to pay more if I want to like do the zombies or if I want to play scenarios. And it doesn't necessarily tell you that they'll pay. Like, it's just main menu, and it's like, okay, here are some other options you can play. Like, just put it out on screen. But once you click on them, then it asks you for money. And I was like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. And I'll probably end up buying them because it is a good game, and I think it's certainly worth more than $1. But it's just kind of disappointing to see it split up into these chunks.
Right. Well, that sucks. But
split up into chunks that don't advertise the split up into chunks.
Right. And I understand why they do it. I mean, it's all about generating income for the game.
You want it
it's
to
essentially
be
a microtransaction.
Yeah, because like with the App Store, you want to advertise that it's $1 because if it's more, people probably aren't gonna buy it.
Right. Well, unfortunately, Plague Inc. has enough buzz over a long period of time with enough people having played it. It's not that if they wanted to charge $5 for it, probably people would already do it. But so many people already bought it.
Yeah.
That that it would be pointless to raise the price at this point.
I also found this game. It was on Joystick. I think it was Joystick. Recommended it, called Zez, Z-E-Z, which is like this match 3 puzzle game, but it's like a real easy puzzle game, and kind of the gist of it is that like you're this. It's kind of weird. You're this cat who punches a robot and flies up in the air, and there are like these little things that appear below you, and you have to match 3 to bounce off of them and bounce higher into the air. And you have 60 seconds to basically get as high as you can. And that's the game. But the match 3 is really easy because it's kind of this race against time, so it's not too complicated. And it's free. Like completely 100% free. No microtransactions or anything. And I read about it on Joystick, and it's shockingly fun. Just as a little time waster during commercials of TV shows.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Goalie.
A couple of things. I went back in the archives like you did with the Sims there. I found that the AC-130 gunship game I was talking about. Remember I said I was looking for that?
Yeah.
I found it on Amazon. Here's a really weird story about this. I found it on Amazon, and they had a couple left on disc, and then they had a digital download. It was $10. So I said, I'll try a digital download. But the only thing was, it didn't say what the specs were. Now, I know my computer will play it it's not, it's an older game. So my problem was backwards compatibility. If it would only play with older, systems, would it play with mine, So I took a chance on it, and I downloaded it for $10, and it plays fine on my Windows 7 laptop. So I've been playing that. It's kind of fun. It's just you're just up in the air in a gunship, and you control the 3 different size guns, and you clear the way for your team. It's just a fun little game you can play for $10. I enjoy it. I actually originally played it on live and had some fun with it, but now I have it for $10. But here's the crazy thing: is when I went back to put the link up to put it on Facebook after I found the game, it said sold out of digital downloads.
What?
Yeah, I mean. I'm like, well, how do you run out of something that's not physical media? But maybe they only purchased so many licenses to hand out. But yeah, it said sold out. I would have to buy the disc now if I wanted to buy it. But digital downloads were gone. Makes no sense, huh?
Yeah, that's really weird.
I mean, maybe that's the PC way of doing business. Because you do have to have so many licenses, whereas maybe on the console, because it's linked to your console, it's different. I've never tried to get an Xbox Live Arcade game and have them say it was sold out.
Yeah, well, sometimes they'll delist Xbox Live games, like if the publisher goes under or something like that. But that's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just out. It was gone.
I wonder, have you looked up at that title to see if possibly there was like a lawsuit? Because I'm thinking along the lines of like the Epic lawsuit, where they had to destroy copies, so therefore they would have to, in something similar.
Boy,
they might have to pull down and say that it's sold out. They don't want to not.
But what are
they don't want to say we were sued.
They don't want to say they were sued, but they had to suspend sales for some reason.
But what would the chances be of a game that's a year and a half or 2 years old going down the day or 2 days after I pick it up? You know what I mean? It just the timing of that would be so precise for that to happen.
Is it back up? Have you looked since?
Actually, I haven't actually. I have to go to the GameHounds page and click on the link to see what it's doing.
And why don't you tell everybody what GameHounds page that is?
Yeah, if you go to facebook.com/thegamehounds, you can see all the cool stories and links and pictures of us and things like that. And yeah, I would try to go and call it up as we talk here to see. Actually, I'm clicking on the page right now. $9.94, so I paid $9.99, so it went down 4 cents.
Ooh, you got ripped off, dude.
That's the PC one. I'm gonna go to PC. I'm gonna go to PC download. Currently unavailable for PC download. Weird. So I downloaded it to your games library on Amazon. I have it as a PC download, but now there's 4 left in stock of PC disc, PC CD.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange why the PC download is out of stock. It's really bizarre.
There's got to be like some legal thing behind that. I mean, there's no logical reason why it would be anything else.
Yeah, it just must be they bought so many licenses for digital. But wouldn't you just say, hey, we're out, get us some more,
Well, maybe
I wouldn't even think that there's a thing.
Yeah.
Like buying license for digital. I
don't know. Couldn't tell you. But anyway, weird. But otherwise, enjoying the game?
Yep, played that. It's every once in a while I just go jump on a laptop and play a few minutes of it. It's like some campaign that you play, and I'm a couple missions in, and it's just the graphics are terrible. It's an old game. It's in black and white because you're up in the gunship looking through the gunship, camera or whatever. But for $10, it's a relaxing game, and I see myself playing it every now and then. It's fun. But then I picked up dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for PS.
Oh, really?
I am playing this on my older TV. It's the 4-year-old one. It's not the new one that the wife got. So I'm playing it on my PlayStation. This thing is gorgeous.
I've been really tempted to get it.
I played it on the 360, played it all the way through, And after I was done, I really had no ambition to go play multiplayer or to go back and find all the things or to replay it. It was a long campaign. It was a very dark Tomb Raider campaign. I think it's the best Tomb Raider they put out. I enjoyed the crap out of it. And I don't know if it's just I wanted to see the new graphics or if I had the hunch to play, the itch to play it again, where we're in a lull between games, or what it was. But I did pick it up. I get rid of a couple of games. I remember me saying that Lego game just kind of failed on me. So I get rid of the Lego game and I get rid of Need for Speed. I'm not going to play them again. They're terrible. And so I traded them into the Tomb Raider game. And it's just insane. And remember we had the conversation a few shows ago about 720p and 1080p. We talked a little bit about that. I personally think that what's more important than 720p and 1080p is the frames per second, which is 30 frames per second versus 60 frames per second. Because this is playing in 60 frames per second, and on my older TV, it's insane. And I'm tempted to put it on her PlayStation, on the new TV, just to see if it looks even better. But on my TV, it's blowing me away how beautiful it is. And this is on a 720p. This ain't even on top of the line. And it's the best look. It's probably as good. Warframe looks pretty good. I don't know if you guys think Warframe looks good. I think Warframe looks pretty good.
Yeah.
This is up there, if not better than Warframe. It is. And I'm playing the campaign, and I remember how fun it was. This is pretty cool. And they're using the I think if you tap the touchpad, that brings up your map. And the little speaker on the PlayStation starts making noise when you do certain things, and the light flashes. So it does a few little things that it didn't do, obviously, on the 360 because it didn't have that. So it has been kind of fun. What's really funky, though, is it does voice commands.
Oh, really?
The PlayStation?
Yeah. Now, get this. So it got late the other night, so I put on my headset. So I was in a chat room with somebody, and I was chatting in the chat room with this person, and I would pause the game when we talk, because sometimes you want to hear the dialogue, and when you're talking, you can't hear dialogue. So you pause the game, finish your conversation, finish your thought, and then you go back to the game. And I'm sitting there, and things are going on. The game's starting up, the map's coming up, menus are changing. I'm like, holy cow! I go, something's going crazy here. I go, this game is changing, and I think it was picking up voice commands and doing something. And it was like, that must be it, because it was like just doing this weird stuff. It was starting and stopping all on its own. And so I must have just said something that the game thought it meant to continue the game, or to pause, or to go to the map, or something like that. So I'm like, my game screwed up and doing something really funky. And then I'm like, oh, it didn't really do this until I put on the headphones and had the microphone on. So, yeah, it does respond to some voice commands. I heard the Xbox One actually does more than the PlayStation One as far as voice commands go.
Although I've heard that the Xbox One is actually locked at 30 frames a second.
Yes, I did. I heard that too. And I like I say, I think going from 60 frames per second, I think is more important than 1080p. Now, maybe they go hand in hand. Maybe I'm just an idiot and I don't know all my geeky stuff here. But I think this has got to be the best game, looking wise, that I've seen on any system anywhere to this point. It is really nice. It's the same game. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing really new, but it is. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy playing it on the PS4 controller, which I really like.
It was a great game to begin with, too.
Yeah, it was. Don't get me wrong. It was. I had a great time on a 360 with it, but I bought it again, playing it again with better graphics, and like I say, having the little speaker do a couple things is kind of fun. The flashing lights in the controllers, it just adds a little bit to it. And I actually forgot all about the game, how you go to the campfire, you set up camp, and you do different things. And I was like, oh, man, I remember how much fun I had playing this game. So, yeah, I went back to Tomb Raider in high definition, and I'm having fun with it.
Cool.
I'm so tempted to buy that. Like, I really, really want
If you liked it and you think you'd enjoy playing it again, it's fun going back. And it's kind of like watching the Brady Bunch for me and Edie, Nick, you wouldn't remember this, but me and Edie used to watch the Brady Bunch with rabbit ears.
Speak for yourself. I freaking loved the Brady Bunch. Oh, God, I was so in love with that show.
Let me finish.
Sorry, anyway. Yes, rabbit ears on the Brady Bunch.
We would watch with rabbit ears, and it'd be fuzzy and snowy, and we would like put tinfoil on it to try to get it to come in, okay? And we would watch it even though it was so bad. Nowadays, it gets on to the TV Land show or something like that, and it's crystal clear. Even Star Trek. Sometimes you watch an old Star Trek, and it's crystal clear. And so I find myself watching some of these old episodes just to see the clarity of it and get to watch it. And Edie, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I mean, it's like we would watch it through the snow because that's how you watched it back then. It was all fuzzy and over the air antennas were terrible. Now you watch, you're like, holy smoke! Look at how clear that is.
Jan is blonde. Whoa! Who knew?
Oh, it is. It's so weird now seeing it crystal clear, and
you can even see Mike Brady's gay. It's amazing.
I know that didn't come through.
I know it didn't come through, but we sure could see it in HD.
You can now see his gay.
You can totally see his gay. Oh,
but so playing Tomb Raider is like, and sadly, this is something that kids nowadays will never experience. Is they're brought up in the HD world.
Yeah, these kids, they don't really know. They don't know how hard it was to grow up.
From what I've read, I think the next thing that will shock people is the Oculus Rift.
Yeah,
that kind of virtual reality headset.
4K TV and stuff like that is really nice. But I mean, but let me tell you, as I've seen the 4K at the store, and yes, it's beautiful. But the jump from 1080p to 4K is nothing like the jump from rabbit ears to cable TV.
Yeah, well, it's like going from 2D games to 3D games.
It's like AM radio.
Never have that again.
It's like AM radio to Blu-ray sound.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of in the future that would equate to that would be the jump from screens to like retinal implants.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But
where then you're when you're sitting there at 40, almost 50 years old, and you're talking to somebody in their 20s and 30s, or like, especially early 20s, being able to go, you have no clue what it was like when we actually had to pick up a controller and change the channel on a screen. That's
just by blinking.
Right. Instead of and everybody in the house had to watch the same thing. If you wanted to watch something else, you had to go to a whole other screen.
Oh,
you go in the other
room.
room.
Probably some things coming up the pipeline that we can't even fathom because we used to kid around. We used to kid around about the Captain Kirk walkie-talkie.
Yep.
And now, when they come out with what was that company that had that? You hit the double click and you could talk to somebody like a walkie-talkie in your cell phone.
Nextel. Was it Nextel? Yeah, Nextel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Nextel come out and that's Captain Kirk 30 years later.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're looking at that going, holy crap, I saw that on TV and we thought that was science fiction.
I know. And now Nextel is completely overshadowed by the fact that every phone in the world has speakerphone.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just,
and a computer in it. It's a tricorder and a communicator.
It surpassed Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
It did. But it's like, we can enjoy it because we grew up without all that stuff.
And crazily enough, the iPhone is actually smaller than the tricorder and the communicator. They didn't,
really?
Even in their wildest dream, they couldn't figure out how small it would end up being.
Nope. But anyway, so getting back to the Tomb Raider thing, yes, playing it on the high def is I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I just love playing games on the PS4, probably because it's new. And the 360 just takes forever to boot up for me now. It's so depressing now when I boot that up. It's like, oh, here we go. Got to wait for that to boot. I did play Diablo the other day, and it was fun. Oh, do you know what I did pick up too? Is I picked up Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, the complete editions for Xbox 360. That was $20 on Amazon. I ordered that on disc, and I got that. Because that Lego Marvel superhero disappointed me so bad. And Lego games are always fun. And that one wasn't. So I had to play a Lego game to kind of make up for it. So I got the Star Wars one. The only thing that sucks, it's all 6 episodes. they make you start off with episode 1.
No.
I don't want to play Jar Jar. I want to play episodes 4, 5, and 6. That's why I bought this game. Luckily, you only got to play a little bit. You don't got to like play episodes 1, 2, and 3 and complete them all. You unlock everything pretty quickly. So I was very happy to see that. So I just jumped right to episode 4, and I was playing around with that. But the Lego Star Wars, it was so much fun. Anything Star Wars is fun. It really is. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've been playing. Is those 3 games mainly there. 3 different systems: PC, Xbox 360, and PS4. Imagine that.
Yeah, you're getting around.
That's good.
I am. I'm spreading it around, spreading it like butter on toast.
You slut.
I am. I'm slopping it all over the place. Hey, have you guys seen This Is the End yet?
Yeah.
I started watching it. I'm not.
Oh yes. Wait a minute. No,
so
wait a minute. This
funny.
Is the end. Is that?
It had all the people, the real people in the movie playing themselves.
The celebrities, James Franco.
Hudson and,
oh no, I'm thinking World's End. Sorry.
Oh man,
I have not seen that.
It's all the people from Bad. What was that movie? Bad with McLovin.
Oh, Super Bad.
Super Bad. Yeah, had all that whole cast in there. Had Emma Watson from Harry Potter. Had some of the people that played in some of the spoofs, scary movie spoofs were in there.
Mm-hmm.
It just was funny. Had a lot of people playing themselves.
Yeah,
it just was. Yeah. Seth Rogen was in it and stuff like that.
I love James Franco's end.
I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
You haven't? Oh,
I'm at the part where they're doing the exorcism. That's as far as I got.
Oh, okay.
Don't wreck it.
Yeah, so
don't wreck it.
I'm gonna go back and watch the last 10 minutes, but it was so fun. It's just funny when people play a movie and they play themselves. It was just pretty funny.
Yeah,
and watching everybody die in that movie, fall and however they died is so funny.
Michael Cera gets like the lamppost.
I haven't seen.
20 minutes, like
I know, but still, but the first 10 minutes, I still haven't seen it. Don't wreck it. Don't wreck it. Man, you're like the trailers where it's like always the best scenes.
Yeah.
In the trailer.
It's just a funny little movie. It really is. It just some of it you can see coming. It's pretty, but you still chuckle. I got a good chuckle out of this movie. I really did. There was a lot of elements of this movie. There was a couple references to The Mist in there. Then obviously there's The Exorcist and a few other ones. It's silly. It really is. It's just silly fun. So I was
speaking of silly fun. You want to hit the news?
With 15 minutes left?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hit a couple of things. Let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news. The news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie, Holy Goalie, and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is...
Hey, the Elder Scrolls Online kind of inching towards getting released. We got some betas coming out in the whole bit. They started announcing some news with the Xbox One and the PS4. Mm-hmm. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they said that with Xbox One, you do have to have a gold membership, and with PS4, you did not need PlayStation Plus.
You do not need PlayStation Plus.
To some people, that might be a big deal, but myself and probably you guys too, we're kind of using the PS4 like the 360, so we're going to have the PlayStation Plus for that anyway. So for me, I was kind of hoping that you could have one or the other. Like if you had PlayStation Plus, maybe they'd give you a discount on it.
They wouldn't do that. They might have had a PlayStation Plus that would allow you to get maybe some extra content or an extra horse armor or something. Would have been nice. Something. But for me, that doesn't really affect me. Some people are going to use it to bash Xbox and say, "Hey, we saw." No, we already get so much advantage out of a PlayStation Plus. That's talking like that makes you sound like the people that say, "Oh, the minimum wage went up. Now I need a raise." Well, you weren't making minimum wage. Yeah, well, I was making $1 over a minimum wage, and now I'm only making 50 cents over a minimum wage. I deserve a raise too. It's like clearly you do not understand what the concept of minimum wage is and why it's there. Same thing with PlayStation Plus. I don't know. See that. just because a game doesn't allow, is nice enough to not require you to have PlayStation Plus, doesn't mean that because you have PlayStation Plus, you deserve something extra. You've already got it. It's called Party Chat. It's called free games. It's called all the other perks that comes from a PlayStation Plus. And now you want a discount on a game too? Just because somebody else got something?
Are you yelling at me?
Yes, I am. I'm using your own logic against you. Believe me, it's not often that a progressive liberal like me gets to use conservative logic on a conservative. So I'm using it. It's beautiful. I'm enjoying it.
Okay,
it's not
I'm about
the only
to stuff.
game that doesn't require that. All MMO free to play, well, literally all MMOs on PlayStation don't require it. Like Warframe doesn't.
Right.
And,
they make their money well, not even making their money.
DC Universe?
Yeah, DC Universe Online.
Yeah, that doesn't require one. So it's part of like a grander, I guess, business ideal. I don't know.
Right, and if there anything,
MMOs don't require PS Plus.
Right, and if this PS Plus or if this game follows that same theory, is that there are going to be microtransactions within there that is going to allow you to help the game along. The difference is, and here's where I might object to them throwing that stuff in there, is that both DC Universe Online, it's Marvel Universe Online, DC Marvel Universe Online, and Warframe were free games. You can play them to your heart's content for free. If they end up turning around, making it, you don't have to play on PlayStation Plus, but on top of it, in order to progress your game or in any way other than just playing an alarming amount in order to be able, and playing really boring parts of it over and over and over again in order to get resources to progress, I'll be upset because I'm not going to pay $60 or whatever. I guess they announced the gold edition, their super collector edition, which sounds kind of cool. I might end up getting that. But if they're if they're going to ask us to pay for it, don't force us to buy stuff within the game.
We'll just wait for it until it goes free to play, because it's going to go free to play.
You think so?
Every MMO.
You're right.
Has gone free to play.
You're right,
this one will be no different. It'll probably do it in a year or less than a year.
I don't know. There's a lot of cool
and then
stuff.
You can buy that. Like by the time it goes free to play, you could buy that super special edition on Amazon for like $30.
I know. Have you seen the super special edition? What's in it?
I've seen pictures of it. I didn't look too close.
You get the figurine,
PC, right?
huh?
That's the PC one.
It's
right?
the PC one. Yeah, you get the figurine. You get a horse mount, a white horse. You get
horse armor.
No horse armor, but you get a special mount.
Shit, I'm not buying it. That's a ripoff.
No, but even better, you get a pet. I mean, this is straight out of the Blizzard WoW book of how to do things. You can have what was it, the crabs? What are like dire crabs? What were the crabs called?
Oh, jeeps, yeah, I forget.
Mud crabs.
Mud crabs,
yeah,
yes. You get a mud crab pet that will follow you around. It's an Imperial edition. It's $99. It's got a 12-inch Molag Bal statue, 224-page improved Emperor's Guide of to Tamriel, and a 21 by 26-inch map of Tamriel, which is actually quite helpful.
That sounds kind of cool.
And it's quite helpful. I
always love a good map.
Yeah. The last game that had a really good map was Grand Theft Auto. Was it Vice City or 3?
I think it was 3 or 4.
5 has a map.
No,
all the Grand Theft
physical
Autos have maps.
Physical map that was included in there.
Physical map.
Did it have a physical map? Where?
Inside the thing. Inside the. I'm gonna take this out.
I don't believe that.
They always have maps.
Did they have a map?
There's a map.
I didn't even look.
Big ass map.
Yeah, and that's really freaking helpful because you don't have to go keep switching off your screen, especially when we were playing. I think it was 3. That one of Kevin would be have the map, and I would be driving, and I'd keep my eyes on the road, and he would tell me whether to turn left or right by looking at the map and looking at the screen. And he's like, cool. Not this right, the next one, go right. in races, and that was the only way we could beat that game, was having a navigator essentially. So yeah, anyway, we got the map, the 21 by 26 inch map of Tamriel, which is pretty big. That's in addition to its bonus digital content offerings, namely the ability to play an Imperial in the game with a white Imperial horse, rings of Mara, and a mudcrab vanity pet. Now you can just get the Imperial edition with just the digital vanity for $79. Sorry?
Nothing.
Come on, don't you want a mudcrab pet?
Just being stupid.
Come on, you want a mudcrab pet? Golly, would love.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm just gonna go stuff some turkey down the garbage disposal now. If you're done yelling at me. You know, this bullshit. I bring up a story and you scold me for 5 minutes. All I just said would be nice since I'm already paying something, you know, if I got a little discount or whatever, and you just rip me apart. I'm starting to feel better over here, and now I feel worse. You know, I just feel like a terrible person right now. Just, you know, I just feel bad, like I've done something awful, just getting yelled at. And what did I do? I've been pumping your tires all show long, and it's like Brady Bunch and, you know, bonding, and then this. It's just this tirade you just went on. Fuck.
I have spent this entire time searching up for sound effects: baby, crying, and violin. Nothing.
What?
I'm such a mean person. I'm sorry. I'm caffeinated. Don't blame me. I'm sorry. I love you, Gully. You know that. I love you.
I even had a dream.
I love you.
I forgot to text you this. It was like 2 weeks ago. I had a dream. I was in your kitchen, and I was boiling potatoes on the stove. And I was just like, I gotta hurry up and boil these potatoes for Edie gets back. And I'm like, what the? It was the craziest dream. I was on the West Coast. I never been
West Coast boiling potatoes. Wow. All right. Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the book and see what that says.
Yeah. Freud's like, yeah, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. It was just like, you know, boiling potatoes. I remember sitting there stirring them, make sure they didn't burn, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Boiling potatoes, and they're all peeled and everything too, from what I remember. That's pretty cool. I don't know who peeled them. Maybe Nick peeled them.
I was in the corner peeling them.
I've been watching Helix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we watched, was it all 4 episodes so far? Not bad. See, I like the Thing. Yeah. And there was another movie like that, too, where they were at some Antarctic base and some weird stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed it. It actually had something to do with diamonds. They were smuggling diamonds in bodies. Remember that movie? What the hell movie was that?
I do not remember.
It was a couple of years ago. It was almost like The Thing. Mm-hmm. Where they had some body and they go, we got to send the body back to the lab. And when the lady put her hand in the body, it was full of diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Ask listeners to do it, because they came back to me about my whole like guy shooting blood out of his nose to stage a crime scene. It was an episode of CSI.
Really?
It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. Yeah.
Community. What is this like Antarctic movie? Well, they've been smuggling diamonds in a body.
Yeah. So let us know at gamehounds@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Before we go, I do want to hit one other thing. You know that you've heard that PS1 and PS2 games there's a rumor that they will be coming to the PlayStation 4 via an emulator. Actually PlayStation 4 is going to be technically backwards compatible all the way to PS1 games. Now, this is a well-placed source working inside Sony's streaming service, according to Eurogamer, that only PlayStation 3 titles are currently scheduled to use the gameplay over IP cloud service, which I would assume is PlayStation Now. PS1 and PS2 titles are set to follow the more conventional route of running locally under emulation on Sony's latest console, but with the possibility of HD visual enhancements.
Okay, see, I was trying to follow all that, and the way the title was, it was like, you know, PS1 and PS2 excluded from PlayStation Now. So it was like, are they scrubbing them?
No, remember, this is only a rumor. These are just rumors that is coming from Eurogamer, is that PlayStation Now is going to be using the, my brain cramp. What's the name of the service that Sony bought that does the streaming? Gaikai. That the Gaikai-based PlayStation Now is pretty much only going to be PlayStation 3 games. And that PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 games are actually going to be playable using an emulator, so that they will have enhancements, graphic enhancements to make it look better on HD.
That'd be kind of cool.
Right.
That would be cool. But I always thought that, like, to get a game to run, I guess it doesn't make sense that you'd have to, like, change the game itself to get it to run on an emulator. But that doesn't make sense because, well, maybe it does, because you can get all those SNES games on emulator, but did people have to hack each game individually
to get them to run on an emulator? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know,
because that would mean like Sony is
it might be a small
programming
tweak.
each individual game.
Well, no, it might be a small tweak, and obviously they are, because they're talking about possibility of HD visual enhancements, which I would imagine is something going into the game and tweaking something there, but it might be a small tweak.
There's no way that they would turn these games HD. Like, you can't do that. That will require new art assets.
That's specifically what the rumor says. It says that PlayStation 3 titles are currently scheduled to use the Gameplay over IP cloud service, which would be the Gaikai PlayStation Now. PS1, I'm assuming, which is kind of weird in the article why they wouldn't call it PlayStation Now, but that's what they've just left it at that. PS1 and PS2 titles are set to follow the more conventional route of running locally under emulation on Sony's latest console, but with the possibility of HD visual enhancements.
I can't see that being possible. That'd be great.
Yeah. Why are you looking gift horse in the mouth? You can get these old games in HD.
Well, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
possible.
What do you? Yeah. Listen to you.
I'm looking the gift horse in the mouth. 'cause
Yeah,
I
you're
think
just gonna take that gift horse, you're gonna stick your fist right up his ass. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do.
Goalie, seriously, let it go.
You're just gonna kick him right in the ass. You're gonna take the
Let
saddle,
it go. Oh my God.
the side, and you're gonna just beat him with that whip like you're running a race. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do with that horse.
Yeah, you want to be fucking blue? You fucking horse? You give me a gift?
I'm gonna make jello out of you, you stupid horse.
No, you try
My
to be
game.
nice.
I don't care if they're in HD, bitch.
I demand Super HD. Give me 4K or nothing.
Yeah, it's gonna be
You
Seattle.
know, that's the
Supersonics.
problem with both of you people. You're always entitled. You feel like you're entitled to have 4K.
I do. I want 5K.
You want Super
I
HD.
know.
You want Super HD on everything. Oh, I don't get enough. Look at me. I'm not getting enough.
Where are my retinal implants?
I want my MTV.
I'll give you an anal implant in a minute. Give you a probe.
Anyway, according to Eurogamer, our information suggests that the same internal emulator strategy is planned for PlayStation 4, and we understand that Sony is actively pursuing the ability for older titles to run without the blurry upscaling seen on PS3, suggesting that native HD resolutions are being targeted.
Well, that makes more sense. I don't think that's HD. That's not turning the games HD.
No,
It is making them
enhancements.
little-
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly what it said, HD visual enhancements. Assuming the intention carries through to the final code, we'll be seeing an effect similar to the resolution scaling seen on unofficial PC emulation of Sony's consoles, as well as a great many of the HD remasters we saw on the PS3, where original assets were rendered at a higher resolution, often without actual remastering at all. Does that understand?
Yeah, that makes sense.
This I'm writing directly out of Eurogamer. Sony's use of emulation as opposed to PlayStation Now streaming is an interesting decision and the right one for enthusiast gamers. Running code locally provides a superior service in terms of both input latency and image quality. And owning to the bandwidth requirements of continuous gameplay streaming, a single download could actually work out better economically for the platform holder. However, anything that can be run on PS3 can also operate on the PlayStation Now servers. So theoretically, there's no technical reason why PS1, PS2, and PSP titles running on the existing upscaling PS3 emulators couldn't be added to the streaming service should Sony see fit. Though HD resolution scaling would most likely be off the table in those circumstances.
Well, the strangest thing to me is that I'd imagine they would want to do the like less graphically intensive games on PlayStation Now because it would be easier to stream those without issue.
Right.
But they're going the exact opposite route.
You're going to get Zork.
Oh, man.
I know. Everyone can stream Zork.
I would totally play Zork again. I love that game. Awesome. All right. So there's still a fuck ton to talk about. Just kind of want to mention in passing that Sony's credit rating was reduced to junk status this week.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah, we'll hit that on over at the.
You know what? I just want to end on one small piece of news.
Yeah.
When I Googled Diamonds in Bodies movie, the first article that came up is about a company that will memorialize your dead relatives by turning them into diamonds.
Yes, that's actually, I've heard about this for some time. Yeah, that when you get them cremated, because what are you but carbon?
Yeah.
And you could actually take your ashes and send it to them, and they will compress and make a man-made gem out of your dead loved ones. I'm going to be made into 2 gems to give to you and a goalie. But goalies will be bigger. Cuz
okay.
I love him more. Are you still upset?
I'm very upset.
You have to make it up to him.
I will. I'll make it up to you over at Happy Endings. All right? Will that help? What can I do to help?
Let's close this out.
Okay, let's close this out. You have been listening to GameHounds, episode 247. We are recording on January 29th, 2014. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola. If you ever want to get a hold of us, GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email address. Check out our Facebook page. Facebook page usually is being curated by the Piss Boy, and the Piss Boy does an amazing job putting up daily what the hot news items are. So if you want to stay apprised of what's going on in the news, go to our Facebook page and like us, and we'll get our news feed. That is facebook.com/The GameHounds. Also, sign up for us on Spreaker. We have a live show that we do right after this show, after we eat. And you can join us in the chat room and be part of the live broadcast. That is at Spreaker.com/GameHounds. And finally, we have a text line. That text line goes directly to Holy Goalie. And you can either text him or leave a voicemail with him. And that number is
304 309 889.
I got it! Woohoo! I'm remembering it. I did. I actually lay in bed the other night thinking, what is the difference? Do I know this? And I actually came up with it. I'm thinking, it's only been 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And now I finally remember my own phone number. All right. Well, we will talk to you next week. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.